Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old is gold, but these rare Kennedy half-dollar coin that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today's video is all about one of the most iconic coins in American history, the Kennedy half-dollar. But not just any half-dollar. We're talking about the special bicentennial edition, the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar. A coin that's more than just money. This piece of American history could actually be worth a fortune if you happen to have the right one. So, sit tight, because what looks like an ordinary coin might just surprise you with an extraordinary story and value. Let's rewind a bit to understand the magic behind this coin. The year 1976 marked a monumental milestone for the United States, the 200th anniversary of American independence. To honor this historic occasion, the U.S. Mint released special bicentennial versions of the quarter, the dollar, and of course, the half-dollar. These weren't just regular coins. They had a unique design and date that immediately set them apart. On the Kennedy half-dollar, instead of just saying 1976, it proudly displays 1776 to 1976, marking the 2 centuries since the birth of the nation. Now, let's talk about the design because it's a masterpiece in itself. The front of the coin features the elegant profile of President John F. Kennedy, one of the most admired figures in American history. His image on the coin symbolizes leadership, inspiration, and the spirit of modern America. But what really catches the eye is the reverse side. Unlike the typical presidential seal found on other Kennedy half-dollars, this one features the Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the birthplace of the Declaration of Independence. This building is more than just bricks and mortar. It represents freedom, democracy, and the bold idea that gave rise to a new nation. And here's where things get even more interesting. While millions of these coins were minted for circulation, not all Kennedy bicentennial half-dollars are created equal. Some were minted in special silver compositions. Some were never released into general circulation. And some were struck with unique errors or in highly limited proof versions that make them incredibly rare and highly desirable to collectors today. So you might be asking, how can you tell if you have a valuable one? First, check the condition. A coin that has been well preserved, showing no signs of wear or scratches, is far more valuable than one that's been passed from hand to hand. If your coin looks like it just came out of the mint, it might be what collectors call uncirculated or even proof, which dramatically increases its value. Next, look for mint marks, tiny letters like S, D, or no mint mark that tell you where the coin was produced. The San Francisco Mint, in particular, produced a number of silver and proof coins that are worth more than face value. Then, there are the rare errors. Yes, even the U.S. Mint makes mistakes sometimes, and when they do, collectors go wild. Some coins have doubled images, off-center strikes, or metal inconsistencies. These errors are not flaws, they're golden tickets. Each one makes the coin unique, and in the world of numismatics, unique equals valuable. Now let's talk demand. The Kennedy half-dollar isn't just popular in the United States, it's known and admired around the world. Collectors in Europe, Asia, and beyond are drawn to the story it tells and the history it holds. As a result, rare versions of the coin are constantly increasing in demand. When history, rarity, and condition align, the price can skyrocket, and here comes the moment you've all been waiting for. You've stayed with us, learned the story, discovered the hidden value, and now it's time to reveal the real treasure. If you happen to own a rare 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar, in pristine, uncirculated condition, perhaps even with a special mint error or silver proof strike, its value could reach as high as $95,000. That's right. $95,000 for a single half-dollar coin. It's not just pocket change, it's a piece of history that could pay for a house, a luxury car, or a dream vacation. So, take a look through your collection, ask your grandparents, check those old jars and drawers, you never know what you might find. That old Kennedy half-dollar could be the key to your next big discovery. And if you enjoyed this journey through history and value, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a story like this one. We've got plenty more treasures to uncover together. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy collecting! Top 2. We're about to unlock the mystery behind one of the most surprising and sought-after coins in American history, the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar. Now, you may think of it as just another coin from the past, a common piece of change that might even be sitting unnoticed in your drawer. But the truth is, this humble coin has a secret that could make it worth more than a luxury car, or even a small house. Yes, you heard that right. This coin could be worth an absolutely jaw-dropping amount of money if you have the right one. So don't go anywhere, because by the time you finish this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and just how valuable this coin might be. Let's take a trip back to the early 1970s. America was going through major changes. The Vietnam War was still ongoing, the space race had recently landed a man on the moon, and the country was in a whirlwind of social and political transformation. Amid all this, the United States Mint continued to produce coins for everyday use. One of these coins was the 1971 D. Kennedy half dollar, struck at the Denver Mint. Now, this coin marks an important shift in American coinage. Before 1971, Kennedy half dollars were made using a 40% silver composition. But starting in 1971, the Mint officially switched to a copper-nickel plaid composition, basically removing silver from the mix altogether for general circulation coins. So technically, number 1971 Kennedy half dollars should contain any silver. But here's the twist, some do. That's where the treasure lies. Through a rare and mysterious minting error, a few 1971 D. Kennedy half dollars were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets, the blank discs meant for the earlier silver versions. These rare silver-clad 1971 D coins were never meant to exist. And because of that mistake, they've become some of the most desirable and valuable coins in U.S. modern numismatic history. Imagine this, you're holding what seems like an ordinary coin, but it's actually one of only a few known to exist in the world. A coin struck in error, in the wrong metal, at the wrong time, yet now, so incredibly right for collectors. That kind of rarity, especially in the world of coins, is pure gold. Or in this case, pure silver with a legendary twist. But what exactly should you be looking for? First off, flip the coin and check the edge. Regular copper-nickel clad coins will show a copper stripe running through the edge. But if you see a clean, silver-colored edge with no copper, that's your first clue. Next, pay attention to the sound. Silver coins make a distinct, high-pitched ringing when dropped gently on a hard surface, very different from the dull thud of base metal coins. If you hear that crisp ring, your heart might just skip a beat. Collectors and grading experts use tools like precision scales and metal analyzers to determine if a 1971 D. Kennedy half dollar contains silver. So if you think you've got a silver one, don't hesitate, get it professionally appraised or graded. The difference between a regular coin and a rare treasure could be life-changing, and speaking of condition, let's not forget the importance of grade. A coin that is in pristine, uncirculated condition with no wear, no scratches, and brilliant luster can dramatically increase in value. Coins that are graded MS65 or higher, especially with that rare silver error, become the holy grail of modern American coin collecting. There are stories of lucky collectors discovering this exact coin at estate sales, tucked away in old coin jars, or passed down unknowingly through family collections. It's the stuff of dreams, but very real now. After all that, you're probably wondering, how much could this coin really be worth? Get ready for it. If you happen to own a rare 1971 D. Kennedy half dollar, struck in error on a silver planchet, and in high uncirculated condition, its value could soar as high as $105,000. Yes, you heard that right, $105,000 for a single half dollar. It's the kind of discovery that turns everyday collectors into legends overnight. So the next time you're sorting through old coins, or you come across a 1971 D. Kennedy half dollar, don't brush it off as pocket change. Take a closer look, test its weight, listen to its sound, and check that edge. Because just maybe, you're holding one of the rarest mistakes in US coin history, and it could be your ticket to an unforgettable payday. Top 3. We're diving into one of the most fascinating and surprising stories in American coin collecting, the elusive and rare 1983 P. Kennedy half dollar. Now you might be thinking, 1983? That's not that long ago. What could possibly make a coin from the early 80s so special? Well, stick around, because the answer may just shock you. What seems like an ordinary coin could turn out to be an extraordinary treasure. And if you're lucky enough to have the right one, you could be holding something worth far more than you ever imagined. Let's go back to 1983. Ronald Reagan was president, the Cold War was still in full swing, and pop culture was booming with music videos, neon fashion, and cassette tapes. But behind the scenes at the US Mint, something unusual was happening. That year, the Mint produced Kennedy half dollars at two facilities, one in Denver and one in Philadelphia, the latter marked with a tiny P mint mark. These coins were not made in massive numbers like pennies or nickels, they were minted in lower quantities, and what happened next would make the 1983 P edition particularly special. You see, 1983 was a turning point. The Mint was recovering from economic troubles in the late 70s, and it had skipped producing mint sets in both 1982 and 1983. That's right, there were no official US mint sets issued for those years. So unlike most other coins, the 1983 Kennedy half dollars were only available through circulation. That meant every single one of them had to survive the wear and tear of being passed from hand to hand, from pocket to cash register and beyond. The odds of finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition were, and still are, very slim. Now add to that the fact that the 1983 P coins are known for something else, minting flaws and striking issues. That year, due to die fatigue and heavy usage at the Philadelphia Mint, some coins were struck with weak details or noticeable errors. And for collectors, that's where things get exciting. A well-preserved 1983 P Kennedy half dollar, especially one with a mint error like doubling, die cracks, or off-center strikes, instantly becomes a hot item in the numismatic world. But even without a major error, a 1983 P coin in high-grade, untouched condition is incredibly rare. Because they were never packaged in official sets and weren't protected from circulation, finding one with full luster, sharp details, and no signs of wear is like searching for a needle in a haystack. That rarity has made these coins highly collectible and highly valuable. Now let's talk details. What should you look for if you suspect your 1983 P Kennedy half dollar could be worth more than face value? First, check the condition. Coins that have no scratches, no signs of wear, and retain their original shine are considered mint state. If you have one that looks like it just left the mint yesterday, that's your first clue. Second, check for unusual features like doubled letters in the word Liberty or in Kennedy's profile, extra lines, odd metal textures, or off-center designs. These kinds of minting mistakes can make your coin stand out and add huge value. Lastly, look for professional grading. Coins that are officially graded by companies like PCGS or NGC carry more credibility and fetch higher prices at auctions. A 1983 P Kennedy half dollar that's graded MS65 or higher is already rare, but add in a minting error or exceptional eye appeal, and you're stepping into serious money territory. There are even stories of collectors discovering these coins in pocket change or inherited coin jars, completely unaware that they were holding a hidden gem. That's the thrill of coin collecting, you never know what might be hiding in plain sight. Now here comes the part you've been waiting for. If you're fortunate enough to own a 1983 P Kennedy half dollar in exceptional, uncirculated condition, especially one with a rare error or high grading, its value could reach as high as $90,000. That's right, $90,000 for a 50-cent coin. It's the kind of story that turns everyday people into overnight legends in the world of coin collecting. So before you spend or toss that old change, take a moment and look closely. That coin from 1983 might not just be currency, it might be a key to your next big payday. Top 4. We're going to talk about a coin that might just be sitting in someone's change jar or tucked away in a forgotten drawer, a coin that could be worth a small fortune. We're talking about none other than the Kennedy half dollar, minted in 1988 at the Denver Mint. Now, the Kennedy half dollar series has been around since 1964, introduced just months after President John F. Kennedy's assassination. Since then, it has become one of the most iconic and emotionally significant coins in American history. While many of these coins were produced in huge numbers for circulation, not all of them are created equal. Some are exceptionally rare, and a few, like the 1988 D, have become legendary among collectors. So what makes the 1988 D Kennedy half dollar so special? On the surface, it looks like any other half dollar from the era. It has the bold, confident profile of President Kennedy on the obverse, and the reverse shows the presidential seal, a heraldic eagle with a shield on its chest, an olive branch in one talon, and arrows in the other. This is classic American symbolism, peace and strength side by side. The coin's edge is reeded, and its composition is the familiar copper-nickel clad that was standard after silver was phased out for regular issues. But here's the thing, it's not always about what's visible to the naked eye. The real value lies in the details, minute things that most people overlook. You see, while the Denver Mint struck millions of these coins, only a very tiny number left the mint under unusual conditions. These may include dramatic mint errors, incredibly high grades with absolutely flawless surfaces, or rare varieties that set them apart from the rest. Imagine this, you're sifting through an old coin collection or maybe a bunch of pocket change from years ago, and you stumble across a half-dollar that looks just like any other. But under close inspection, you notice something unusual. Maybe it's the sharpness of the strike, a unique die flaw, or a rare doubling that isn't commonly seen. That's when the excitement starts to build. In the world of coin collecting, condition is king. A 1988 D. Kennedy half-dollar that has never been circulated, showing no signs of wear, and preserved in near-perfect condition can command serious attention. Coins like these are often graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, and the highest grades, MS67, MS68, or better, are incredibly hard to come by. The difference in value between an average circulated coin and a flawless gem can be staggering, but the real showstoppers? The rare few coins that contain major minting errors. These could be off-center strikes, double dies, or even wrong planchet errors where the coin was struck on metal intended for another denomination. These coins are so rare that they become stars of auctions, fetching massive bids from collectors eager to own a piece of numismatic history that no one else has. What makes all of this even more thrilling is that most people have no idea that coins like this exist. They're out there, tucked in collections, hidden in jars, or forgotten in old bankrolls. And every so often, one surfaces and shakes up the coin collecting world. So, how much could one of these treasures be worth? Well, let's put it this way. A 1988 D. Kennedy half-dollar in extraordinary condition, especially if it features a rare error or an exceptionally high grade, has been known to reach a jaw-dropping value of $80,000. That's right, what once was worth just 50 cents could now be valued at the price of a luxury car or even a down payment on a house. Incredible, isn't it? So don't underestimate the coins in your collection or your change jar. That simple half-dollar could be your golden ticket. If you've got a Kennedy half-dollar from 1988 with a D mint mark, take a closer look. You might just be holding a small fortune. Top 5. We're diving into a coin that's not just a piece of currency, it's a slice of American history, a collector's dream, and for a few lucky people, a ticket to a small fortune. It's the Kennedy half-dollar from the year 1992, specifically the one minted at the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a bold little P. At first glance, it might look like your everyday pocket change, but don't let its simple appearance fool you. This coin has secrets, and one version of it could be worth a life-changing amount of money. And now, let's rewind for just a moment. The Kennedy half-dollar was introduced in 1964 as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination. Its release was met with enormous public emotion. People lined up at banks to get their hands on them. Since then, this coin has remained one of the most iconic and widely recognized pieces in American coinage. Over the decades, millions have been struck, but the truth is, only a tiny fraction of those ever become rare enough to be valuable to collectors. Fast forward to 1992. This year marked a subtle turning point in the Kennedy half-dollar series. While the general public was still using these coins in everyday transactions, something special was happening behind the scenes at the U.S. Mint. That year, the Mint released both circulation strikes and a special group of proof coins, including the first ever 90% silver Kennedy half since 1964, but only in proof sets. However, for the regular strikes, the ones meant to be spent, something fascinating occurred at the Philadelphia Mint. The 1992 P. Kennedy half-dollar was struck in huge numbers, but among them, a tiny number were minted with such precision, clarity, and detail that they almost looked like proofs. Some were struck with unusually sharp dies. Others may have come off the line during early die states, resulting in crisp details, smooth surfaces, and mirror-like finishes, qualities that collectors go wild for. A few may even exhibit extremely rare mint errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet anomalies. These coins, especially when found in mint state or better, are incredibly hard to come by. That's because most coins from 1992 were circulated heavily. They got scratched, dinged, and worn down through decades of use. Very few were ever saved in pristine condition, and even fewer survived untouched in the kind of condition that collectors call gem quality. Imagine flipping through an old coin album or a stash of change from a family collection, and spotting a 1992 Kennedy half-dollar with a P mint mark. You examine it closely and notice the strike is unusually sharp. The details in Kennedy's hair, the feathering of the eagle on the reverse, the overall luster, it all looks stunning. That's when your heart starts to race, because you might be holding something truly special. In the world of numismatics, grading is everything. Coins are evaluated based on strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and eye appeal. The top grades, such as MS-67 or MS-68, are like the diamonds of coin collecting. They are rare, desirable, and expensive. And when a 1992 P. Kennedy half dollar is found in such elite condition or combined with an unusual mint error, its value skyrockets. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. How much could one of these rare coins actually be worth? A regular, circulated 1992 P. Kennedy half dollar is worth 50 cents. But the rarest examples, the ones that collectors dream about, the ones that tick all the right boxes when it comes to rarity, condition, and uniqueness, they belong to an entirely different category, and that brings us to this jaw-dropping moment. Are you ready? Because one of these ultra-rare 1992 P. Kennedy half dollars has been known to reach a value of $75,000. Yes, you heard that right, $75,000 for a coin that most people wouldn't even take a second look at. This is what makes coin collecting so fascinating. It's the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, and the possibility that something incredibly valuable might be hiding in plain sight. So, what are you waiting for? Check your coin collections, dig through those old drawers, flip through those coin rolls. That overlooked half dollar might just be the key to a once-in-a-lifetime discovery.